Beginning with cleansed skin, apply about half a dropper full of Moisture Reset to the neck and face. This whole gua sha technique is designed to take around 20 minutes. We recommend doing each stroke you'll see here about 3 to 5 times each. Timing will be based on numbers of strokes and your pace. Choose one side of the face to work on first. You will perform all techniques shown in this video on one side first, and then move to the other side. Begin with your opening strokes on the posterior and lateral neck. You will use moderate pressure. These are intended to relax the muscles while opening channels from the face. Notice the angle of the tool to the skin. When possible, keep the gua sha tool at no greater than a 30-degree angle in relation to the skin surface. It should be almost flat to the skin. When these opening strokes are complete, we will move on to lymphatic drainage. We will now perform the lymphatic drainage portion of this technique. The image on the right shows the ideal flow of lymph fluid throughout the face and neck. This is the basis for this portion of the technique. Pressure will be very light, focusing on moving fluid underneath the skin's surface. Anchoring at the jaw, use light pressure with the gua sha tool, stroking down to the collarbone. Take a moment to stimulate the nodes located at the collarbone. Using the cleft edge of the tool, stroke along the jawline from the midline to the ear. Switch to the curved edge of the tool and stroke from the midline of the chin to the front of the ear. Continuing on with the curved edge, anchor near the mouth and stroke out to the front of the ear along the lower cheek. Using the flat edge, take a moment to flush fluid down towards the collarbone. Using the curved edge, anchor at the nose and stroke over the upper cheek towards the front of the ear. Switching to the flat edge, use the large surface to stroke over the whole cheek, pulling up towards the temple. Using the flat edge, take a moment to flush fluid down towards the collarbone. Using the flat edge, stroke up from the eyebrows to the hairline, covering the whole side of the forehead. Using the flat edge, stroke from the midline of the forehead to the temple. Using one of the pointed curved edges of the gua sha tool, stroke lightly from the inner to the outer eye, finishing at the temple. To complete the lymphatic drainage portion, anchor at the jaw and use the gua sha tool to guide fluid down through the neck to the collarbone. Now we will move on to the traditional gua sha portion of this technique. Gua sha gets a bit deeper into the tissues in order to work the muscles and sculpt contours. Continue on with the same side of the face. Using the flat edge of the tool, stroke upwards towards the jaw on the neck in order to sculpt, lift, and stretch the neck. Move up to anchor on the jaw and use the flat edge to perform short upward strokes from the jaw to the cheekbone. Using the cleft edge with the longer edge underneath the jaw, anchor at the midline of the chin and stroke out towards the ear. Using the curved edge, anchor near the mouth and stroke out towards the front of the ear. Continuing on with the curved edge, anchor near the nose and sculpt underneath the cheekbone out to the anterior ear. Using the flat edge, anchor near the nose and sculpt over the cheekbone all the way up to the temple. For targeted expression line work, use the flat edge of the gua sha tool to get into the nasolabial fold and lightly friction. Perform the same action all around the mouth. This helps to break up connective tissue and relax the muscles. You can do this same technique in any area of the face where you want to relax expression lines. The technique around the lips will also help to plump. Use the flat edge to stroke up from the eyebrows to the hairline. Using the curved edge, anchor at the bridge of the nose and stroke up through the area in between the eyebrows. Using the flat edge of your tool, stroke from the midline of the forehead out to the temples. Use the cleft edge of the tool to stroke over the orbital bone from the inner to the outer edge. Be careful to stay on the bone and not put any pressure on the eye itself. Finish with general broad strokes over all areas of the face. You will then continue on to the other side of the face, beginning back with lymphatic drainage. When you're done with that side of the face, do some general broad, relaxing strokes with your hands over the whole neck and face area.